Whoa. Hey guys, what's up? My name is Lexi. This video is going to be a part of a new series where I'm going to talk about haunted places. I'm going to tell you guys some scary stories, some urban legends, and I'll show you guys scary videos that I have found about this certain spot. And I wanted to start off with this city in particular because some of the scariest videos that I've seen and the scariest stories that I've heard have all happened in this city. So today I'm going to be talking about Santiago de Queretaro, Mexico. Before we start, if you haven't already, please consider subscribing. You can join our spooky little family. We talk everything paranormal, and I'm going to leave my paranormal playlist up here if you're interested. Anyway, let's just get right into it. Santiago de Queretaro is a city in central Mexico. It's known for its well-preserved Spanish colonial architecture, and it's beautiful. They have a lot of very beautiful historic buildings, churches, cathedrals, so there's a lot of history there. With a lot of history comes a lot of old energy, and with old energy comes a lot of ghosts. So I'm going to start with a few videos that I know went viral like a year ago. So something that Querétaro is known for is Brujas, or witches. I have friends from there that have stated either their family has seen a bruja or they themselves have seen brujas. There's a trail that's known for a tradition where people will trudge a 2-hour walk all the way to the Basilica in Soriano, Querétaro. There have been a lot of people who claim to not only have brujas walking with them, but have seen them there too. And most notably, they've seen brujas show up as these balls of light. Some people even call them balls of fire. So they hear brujas screaming, talking, walking next to them, and there's been some unlucky people who have experienced all three of those. In November of 2020, a man was walking down this trail and he started to feel the sensation of being watched and like he wasn't alone. So he started recording and he captured this.
Me voy para mi casa yo. Qué perro se escuchó. Ya casi llego ya a mi casa. Ay, güey, tengo un pinche paniqueado. Ay, no mames, perra madre. Ah, su puta madre. No mames. Oh, mames.
This video was making its rounds on TikTok for a while, and every time I watched it, I'd freak out. Like, it's creepy as hell. Some people say it sounds like La Llorona, but others state that this is not her because of the way she moves. Like, La Llorona does not move like that, as this thing kept reappearing in front of this man several times. So I want to show you guys this other video that this person caught that looks and sounds like La Llorona as well. And I've heard from a ton of people who've actually heard her say that this is exactly what she sounds like. In my experience, I personally don't remember what she sounded like because it was so long ago. This video wasn't captured in Querétaro. It was actually in Aguascalientes. But I just want to show you guys anyway so you guys can see the difference between a bruja and La Llorona and what they sound like. Speaking of La Llorona, if you guys know the legend, in Queretaro, they actually call her La Llorona Queretana. You know the story, there's so many variations. The version that I've heard time and time again talks about a man meeting a woman, they get together, they fall in love, they get married, they have 3 kids, and all is good until the woman finds out that the man is cheating on her, and then he ends up leaving her for another woman. And enraged, she loses all of her sanity and she unalives her children and drowns them one by one in a river. And it's said that now she spends the rest of her life looking for her children so that her soul can finally rest in peace. So this next story is about a woman from Querétaro who is said to be the real life La Llorona. And she's also been called La Llena de Querétaro. I'm gonna read my notes that I wrote down on my phone. In 1989, Claudia Mahangos murdered her 3 babies in a fit of rage, claiming that she was possessed by a demonic entity and that she heard the voice of Satan tell her to commit the crime. Alfredito was 6 years old, Ana Belén was 9 years old, and Claudia Maria was 11 years old. After the crime, the house remained abandoned, but locals say that the spirit of the children never left the house. People still feel an eerie sensation in the abandoned home. They've said to see a young boy in the window of the 2nd level, and they've also heard the screams, the cries, and the voices of the children replaying that horrible night again and again. So this house is still abandoned to this day, and I've seen a lot of people go to investigate the house. They claim to hear voices, footsteps, and they'll hear bangs all around the home. Claudia actually pled guilty with reason of insanity and was found to have schizoaffective disorder. She stuck with the story that she was possessed by a demonic entity and that Satan told her to commit the crime. She served 30 years behind bars for the heinous crime. I remember watching a video of this specific house on like Primer Impacto or like a paranormal show in Mexico, and the video shows these investigators at this house and they capture a video of a little boy in the window, and they all run in looking for him and they don't find anything. I searched and searched and searched for this video and I could not find it. And this video was actually the reason why I was so scared to even visit Querétaro, especially because something really similar had happened to me years prior. So this next story is going to be about the mysterious house of Don Bartolo. So legend has it that in the mid 17th century, Don Bartolo lived in a beautiful mansion on Pasture Street and lived in the home with his sister. They both led a lavish life, they lived very comfortably, and gossip said that Don Bartolo was in love with his sister. We've got a weirdo, guys! Don Bartolo held a party every year on the occasion of his birthday in which he made a toast for the lady, my sister, for my soul, and for May 20th, 1701. On the night of May 20th, 1701, a loud pop was heard and a red glow appeared over the city, followed by profound silence. None of the neighbors knew the reason for it until the next day when they had noticed that nobody had left the Don Bartolo residence. The police were informed, and forcing the door opened, they found a horrifying scene. At the foot of the bed lay the corpse of his sister, strangled by him. Even weirder, attached to the ceiling was Don Bartolo, charred, asking God for mercy. An exorcism was performed, making Don Bartolo detach himself from the ceiling beams and fall to the ground. He also had a sign in his hand that read, "Punished like this for a hypocrite, murderer, and thief." In his wardrobe, a black sheet of paper with white characters was found. A contract between Don Bartolo and Satan read, he sold his soul to him 50 years in advance in exchange for riches, honors, and pleasures. The term expired on May 20th, 1701. It is believed that Don carried out this pact to fill his sister with luxuries so she would not have to look for a man. For a long time, this house was uninhibited due to the multiple apparitions and fright that occurred, and it currently houses the offices of the Secretary of Public Education in the states. That is a whole entire roller coaster. What in the actual fuck was going on, Don? You weirdo? So the next thing that I want to talk about is about the exorcism and possessions that occurred in 1619. Multiple exorcisms and multiple possessions. So 15-year-old Francisca Mejia had just lost the love of her life, and it was said that she had thrown herself into the river. She was found unconscious but alive, and when she awoke, she had told everyone that she wasn't the one that had thrown herself in, but in fact, she had been lifted into the air and thrown in by an unseen entity. Everyone, believing that she was just feeling out of it and not feeling like herself, thought this to be false. They just took care of the girl and they kept an eye out for her. But soon after, she began acting really erratic, having strange symptoms. The symptoms say it was bouts of blasphemous talk, uncontrollable screaming, projectile vomiting of strange objects like rusty nails, wool, and even a frog, which began to frighten the public. Once the people took notice of this, a local fray and his friars got involved, and they instantly claimed that this is a demonic possession. So they thought that that might have been the end of it, until another young girl began to have the same erratic behavior and strange set of symptoms. Her name was Juana de las Reyes, and she too began the swearing, the screaming, the vomiting, etc. The local fray and the friars came out once again, determined it to be a demonic possession. This continued to happen where more and more people started having these weird symptoms, started acting very erratic. A lot of people were falling in service at church, and they started convulsing, vomit, they'd have bouts of hysteria, uncontrollable screaming, like the whole 9 yards. And they too were found to be demonically possessed. It got to be too much for the public that they began to have public exorcisms at the local church. By the end, it was said that there's around 17 to 18 people that were said to be possessed by a demonic entity. And the town was scared, as they should be. And it got so bad that the Spanish Inquisition actually stepped in. They got involved and they deemed everything as fraudulent. And it's said that they just did that to give the townspeople a peace of mind. Ooh. That is everything that I found about the paranormal in Queretaro. There are a lot more things, but I didn't want it to be such a long video. If anything, I can just add more stuff into like a part 2 or something. But I definitely will be making another episode of this. If you guys want to give me like a certain place you want me to look into, I definitely can. I do want to branch out and make different kinds of paranormal videos. I just don't want you guys to like get bored of my videos, like the updates and stuff. So I am gonna like mix in a few things here and there. Other than that, hope you guys enjoyed. Take care of yourselves, and I'll see you guys soon. Bye.